Want to become a star? Practice often and practice smart with SoccerPal. Tested by coaches and professionals, SoccerPal increases the number of touches you can perform in a practice session. To help you practice the proper techniques, we've invited Roy Rees, one of the world's top youth coaches, to share his secrets. SoccerPal and the SkillBuilder video. They turn players into stars. Now, here's Coach Rees.
Hi, I'm Roy Rees. I'm the United States national team coach for the under-17 group, a position which I have held for the last 7 years. The folks at SoccerPal and I have designed the SkillBuilder video to help you to master a variety of skills. These skills include passing, ball control, shooting, volleying, heading, and some dribbling moves. Each skill is explained and illustrated with the help of slow motion and stop action analysis. Then we demonstrate the proper way to practice each skill using SoccerPal. To improve your play, it is essential to practice on a regular basis. SoccerPal will help you make the most of this practice time, but make sure that you are practicing the skills correctly as shown in the video. Remember, practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Practice the proper techniques often and you will improve your game quickly. We extend our thanks to Justin and Jake Jackson, as well as their teammates from the Greenville, Texas Athletics, who performed the skills in the video. You may want to have SoccerPal handy as you watch the tape so that you can practice along with Justin and Jake. But ask your parents' permission to use SoccerPal indoors. And if they do allow it, always be sure to keep your hand in the wrist loop so that SoccerPal will not escape. We'll begin with passing techniques. The key is to have the ball just in front of you so that you can see other players as well as the ball. Watch Justin's first touch, so the ball is available just in front of him to pass it either to his left, to his right, or even to dribble. The ball is struck with all of the side of the foot, with a leg swing going through the middle of the ball towards the intended target. The leg swing begins at the hip. Notice how the ball rolls along the ground, making it easy for his teammate to control the ball. Now let's watch how Justin uses SoccerPal to practice inside of the foot passing. The cord is adjusted to its full length and the ball sits on the ground a yard or more in front of him when he holds the handle about waist high. When using your right foot, it is best to hold SoccerPal in your left hand. And don't forget to slip your hand into the wrist loop. Justin steps towards the ball with his left foot, planting it a foot or so behind the ball and a foot or so to the left of the ball. He swings his right leg from the hip so that his foot goes through the middle of the ball towards the intended target. He contacts the ball with as much as possible of the inside of the foot surface. Notice that his foot is turned outwards as much as the ankle joint will allow. He will naturally lean back while performing this action in order to maintain balance. The ball can be passed along the ground by striking it slightly above the midline. Justin can practice 30 or more passes in just a minute using SoccerPal. Here Justin works on his left foot. Now, of course, the handle is held in his right hand. The ball should not spin. If the ball does spin, you know that you have mishit the ball. The ball should stay along the ground as far as possible. Justin receives the ball and sets it up with his first touch directly in front of him. As the defender commits himself to a challenge, he strikes the ball with the outside of his right foot. The striking movement on the ball is quick, so that a defender has very little early warning as to the intended path of the pass. It is like a boxer's short jab with hardly any follow-through. Notice the contact area of the foot. The ankle is rotated slightly inwards and downwards so that the area immediately above the little toe strikes the ball. Here we see Jake escape from a closing defender and squeeze an outside of the foot pass to a teammate. 9-year-old Jake has his SoccerPal adjusted to its full length. When he uses his right foot, he holds the handle in his left hand. As in the game footage, Jake sets up the ball directly in front of himself and slightly to the side of the kicking foot. This allows him to see not only the ball, but also other players. He takes one step towards the ball and plants his left foot about 6 inches or so behind the ball and about 6 inches or so to the left of it. Again, notice the contact area of the foot. The ankle is rotated slightly inward and downward so that the area immediately above the little toe strikes the ball. Try striking the ball with varying amounts of force. Try to limit the spin on the ball. Although with the outside of the foot, this is particularly difficult to do. To become a top-notch player, you must be able to control the ball out of the air. Here we see Jake control the ball out of the air by forming a wedge between the inside of his right foot and the ground. Notice that his body leans to the left to allow this wedge to develop. The key is to get yourself in position. The position is, of course, reversed for the inside of the left foot wedge trap. With the cord adjusted to its full length, Jake practices his inside of the foot wedge traps by passing the ball up. Then he tracks the ball to a point where he can get into position to wedge the ball between the ground and the inside of his right foot. On a good wedge trap, there will be slack on the SoccerPal cord as you receive the ball. When the cord does tighten, it is not always clear whether you have performed your wedge trap correctly. As the ball hits the ground, you should sweep your right leg to the left, so the ball is wedged between the angle made between your leg and the ground. The contact area is the inside part of your foot, from the big toe to the heel bone. It sometimes helps if you raise your toes and bend your ankle upwards. You can practice taking the ball out of the air with a wedge trap in various directions, even pivoting and turning out of the wedge trap. The position in which you plant and point your support foot allows you to pivot and turn. As always, practice the inside of the foot wedge with both feet. Here we see Jake control the ball out of the air with the outside of his right foot by forming a wedge between the outside of his right foot and the ground. Notice how he leans to his right to allow his right foot to sweep across his body, making a wedge between the outside of his right foot and the ground. The key is to get yourself in position so that you can perform this sweeping action. When using the outside of the right foot wedge trap, you should position yourself so that the ball will hit the ground a few inches in front of your left foot. With the cord adjusted to its full length, Jake practices his outside of the foot wedge traps, first by passing the ball up. Then he tracks the ball and positions himself at the point where he can wedge the ball between the ground and the outside of his right foot. The ball hits the ground slightly to the right and slightly in front of Jake's left foot. On a good wedge trap, the ball will roll along the ground so that a shot, a pass, a clearance, or even a dribble can be initiated within 2 or 3 strides. You will know that you have performed a solid wedge trap if there is slack on the SoccerPal cord as the ball falls to the ground. If the cord is too short and tightens, it is not always clear if the wedge trap was performed correctly. Be sure to practice with SoccerPal using both feet. Also, you can practice with the ball coming back at you from several different directions. You can even take the ball out of the wedge trap in different directions. To control the ball with his thigh, Justin raises his arms as if to catch the ball, but he lets the ball fall through so that he can meet his thigh at a point just above the knee. Notice that the thigh is raised to meet the ball and to propel it upward and slightly forward. As the ball is propelled upward, Justin has time to survey the field and decide which direction to take the ball. With the cord adjusted to its full length, Justin passes the ball up above his head. Then as the ball returns, he raises his arms and gets into position as if to catch the ball. He lets the ball fall through and raises his bent leg so that his thigh meets the ball at a point just above the knee. The upward movement of the bent leg is a gentle one, so the ball pops up and slightly forward. Its first bounce, if it was free from SoccerPal, would be about 1 yard in front of Justin. He should maintain good balance on his support leg. The SoccerPal cord should have slack in it from the moment the ball is a foot or so above your head to the time it hits the ground. If it tightens, you may have lost control of the ball. Be sure to work on thigh traps with both legs, with the ball approaching you from different directions. You can even practice pivoting and turning with the ball out of the thigh trap. Notice how Justin raises both arms as if to catch the ball, but lets it fall through them. His chest is angled upward and forward, and he strikes the ball with his chest to pop it up and slightly forward. This gives him plenty of time and space to control the ball when it hits the ground. Notice the angle of Justin's upper body at the moment of contact with the ball. With the cord adjusted to its full length, Justin passes the ball up above head height. With arms raised as if to catch the ball, he gets into position to catch it, but instead, he lets it fall through, and he strikes the ball with his chest angled upward and forward. Notice that the contact area is high up in the middle of his chest. Also notice the way Justin leans back from the waist. If the ball was free from SoccerPal, it would bounce off his chest a yard or so in front of Justin. Justin watches the flight of the ball onto his forehead. Just before impact, he bends his knees and sinks his hips to cushion the impact of the ball on his head. The aim is to gently hit the ball upward and slightly forward to give himself time to evaluate his next step. Notice how Justin's head drops away from the ball to cushion the impact. He is able to drop his head by bending his knees and taking his right foot back to form a solid base. With the cord adjusted to mid-length, Justin swings the ball, then pulls it back so that it falls towards his head. Just before contact, he bends his knees and sinks his hips. This has the effect of withdrawing his head from the ball just before the impact. The ball is hit upward and slightly forward to give himself time to initiate the next skill. Here's Justin working on all of the control skills we've just covered. He is combining chest traps with thigh traps and wedge traps. With practice, you will notice that your cord tightens on fewer occasions, and then you'll know that you are improving. As we move into shooting and volleying skills, You'll have plenty of opportunities to continue your control practice using SoccerPal. Now that we've developed a feel for SoccerPal, as well as your passing and control skills, we will discuss the techniques that will make you a more effective scorer in soccer. Let's take a look at Justin and Jake receiving passes square across the field and how they put the ball into the net. Now in slow motion, here's Jake. He plants his left foot slightly ahead of the ball and pointing towards the goal. If he missed the ball, he would travel through his legs. His body is almost sideways onto the goal, and the backswing of his right leg begins at the hip joint. He strikes the ball with the top part of his foot or his shoelaces. Let's take a look at this again. Notice that his upper body is sideways onto the goal. If the pass is received from the front, then the shooting technique is slightly different. The secret is to get yourself in position so that the ball is outside of your kicking foot. You then have to plant your non-kicking foot in line with or parallel to the ball. If you wish to keep the ball low, keep your toe down and strike the middle of the ball. If you wish to kick the ball high and far, then strike the ball a little earlier, striking the bottom of the ball. Practicing low drives or lofted clearances is, of course, easy to do with SoccerPal. With the cord adjusted to its full length, the ball is placed as far in front of Jake as the cord will allow while still slack. Notice how Jake has set the cord so that it does not interfere with his kick. He holds the handle in his left hand for right-footed shots and in his right hand for left-footed shots. He approaches the ball from the left at a slightly sideways angle, allowing a full swing of his right leg. He plants his left foot parallel with the ball and about 9 inches to the left of it. He connects with the ball dead center at the midpoint with the top of his foot from a point above the first joint of his big toe to his second shoelace. The contact should be at the bottom part of the leg swing. The leg swing should be short and fast with a minimum of follow through, just like a short jab in boxing. When Jake wishes to kick it high and far, he takes the same approach to the ball, but plants his left foot slightly behind the line of the ball. This means that he connects with the ball as the leg is beginning its upward swing. This time, he follows through with the leg swing and allows a natural arm action to develop. When volleying the ball, if contact is made with an upward swing of the leg, then the ball is almost certain to go up. If contact is made with the ball with a horizontal swing of the leg, then the ball should travel parallel to the ground. In most shooting chances, the ball should be kept parallel to the ground. The secret is to lean away from the ball, bending at the waist. This allows the kicking foot to be raised so that it can be swung at the ball in a horizontal plane. Where possible, have your right knee higher than the ball. The arms should be extended away from the body to help to maintain balance. It is rare, of course, for shooting chances to be available in the game of soccer without the striker having to control the ball first. That is why shooting practice is best when combined with ball control practice. With his back to the goal, Justin receives the ball on his left thigh. He pivots and side volleys it into the goal. Here, Justin receives the ball on his thigh while facing the goal. He pops the ball upward and forward off his thigh so that it would land a yard or so in front of him. He front volleys the ball into the goal. When using SoccerPal, Jake can practice side volleys continuously, even alternating between his left and right foot. The coach can raise and lower the ball and help Jake keep focused on his technique. planting his support foot so that it points towards the intended target, leaning his upper body to allow his kicking foot to be swung on a horizontal plane, striking through the middle of the ball with his instep, and virtually pointing his left hand towards the intended target, with the right hand raised behind him to maintain balance. With experience, the coach can feel whether the ball will travel high or low. The force of the kick takes his hand that way. Justin also demonstrates how to practice volleying on his own when using SoccerPal. Notice how he has to move his feet quickly to get into position. Here, Justin is practicing volley clearances where the ball will travel high and far. Probably the most difficult skill to teach young players is heading in all its different categories. First of all, let's look at defensive heading, where the emphasis is on getting the ball away, high, far, and wide. Watch how Justin puts his whole body into powering this ball away with his head. The thrust comes all the way up from his feet to his head. You'll see that he bends backwards at the waist, arches his back, and takes his head back so that he can put the full force of his forward movement to the ball. Notice that the ball is hit by the forehead. Headed clearances have often to be made to the side so that the ball goes away from the area immediately in front of the goal. The head is often used to direct a pass to a teammate or to head the ball into goal. Watch how Justin keeps his eyes on the ball and twists his upper body so that he can redirect the ball towards the intended target. Heading practice is easy with SoccerPal. Notice how many repetitions Justin can achieve in a short time. With the cord adjusted to mid-length, he swings the ball up and guides it gently towards his head. The cord should be slack as the ball comes down. He tracks the flight of the ball onto his forehead and practices defensive power heading. Notice how his upper body and his neck are taken back so that the head can meet the midline of the ball while the head is still moving forward. Justin connects with the ball just below the hairline on his forehead. Justin now practices heading at goal. This time, he times his contact so that he meets the ball above the midline. This lets him head the ball forward and downward. Contact with his head is made with the same area on his forehead. The coach can also hold the ball up on a short cord, allowing both defensive power heading and heading at goal to be practiced. The coach should look for good technique at all times. Justin approaches the ball with 1 or 2 strides and jumps to head the ball. When practicing defensive power heading, the coach should hold the ball high, but when heading for goal, it should be lowered so that Justin can get above the ball to direct it downwards. Most dribbling skills include a fake designed to put the defender off balance. Here, Jake pretends to push the ball to his right with the outside of his right foot, but instead, he steps over it and pushes the ball with the outside of his left foot to cut past Justin. You can even add an extra fake onto this dribbling move. Justin steps over the ball and then fakes to cut back to his left, but instead, he pushes the ball with the inside of his left foot to cut past the defender. Another dribbling move is to drag the ball away from the oncoming defender, then push it past him with the inside of the foot. With the cord adjusted to its full length, you can practice all these dribbling moves using SoccerPal. But a word of advice. Notice how Justin has set the cord so that it does not get in the way when he performs his first movements. Having the cord at full length means that you don't have the ball under your feet with your head down. You are able to have it in front of you so that you can see the approaching defender and other players. Make sure that when you practice the dribbling moves using SoccerPal, that you cut diagonally past the defender. Your move should not be side to side, but rather you should think of brushing past the defender's arm. We have included a few tricks so that you can practice using SoccerPal. These are not necessarily going to improve your technical skills, but they can give you many hours of fun, and they can be useful as a warm-up. You could even devise some competitions with your pals to see who among you can do the best tricks. SoccerPal works. It's the smart way to develop your skills, getting frequent repetitions, even on your own in a confined space in a short period of time. I hope you get many hours of fun using SoccerPal on the SkillBuilder video.
Check inside the video box for details on how you can earn the SoccerPal Skills Certificate and the Team SoccerPal patch.